one of the first message that I'm getting out for you is it seems almost to me as if for some of you, you feel like your dreams are a little bit out of reach, okay? You feel like there is a lot of things holding you back from achieving your dreams. So I feel for some of you, it could be fame for some of you. I feel like you might be, in the entertainment industry trying to get a big break. And then for others of you, it could be as simple as like, purchasing a property, for example. And you feel like there are a lot of red tapes, there are a lot of like things that are standing in your way, such as credit checks, such as, having that down payment, such as having that stable place to live. Like having that stable place where you have to be working at for a certain amount of years. So I feel like there are a lot of red tapes, like unnecessary bureaucratic red tapes that are preventing you from achieving your dreams. And I feel like for some of you, the dream might just be physically financial stability. So for example, there might be taxes, there might be a lot of money that you need to pay out. So I definitely feel some barriers and obstacles that you are a little bit frustrated with when it comes to tying you down and not allowing you to be like free flowing like the wind. Okay. What else I'm also seeing is the message that they are telling you specifically for this month is, honestly, your dreams are the things that are keeping you grounded, okay? So while you might think about all these things as being obstacles that are preventing you from achieving your dream, the universe is saying, like, have a paradigm shift. Rather than looking at them as obstacles, look at them as motivations. It's sort of like, okay, so let's say I need to be stably employed for a certain period of time in order to purchase a house, for example. Then those things are keeping you grounded. Those are realistic goals for you to achieve. So I feel like you might be dwelling on how frustrating it is, when in fact these things are put in place so that you can figure out a roadmap for yourself. Maybe they're in place mainly to keep you a little bit grounded for the time being. I hope that makes sense. So for example, if you are trying to figure out like okay, so let's just say, for example, if your dream is to become like a famous person, right? And the obstacle here that you feel like there are a lot of things in the way, such as, I need to get my big break. I need to be lucky. And you feel like these things are outside of your control. What they're saying here is that, dreams are achieved through sheer hard work and dedication. So if you want to become very, very famous, you might need to go through, you might need to market yourself better. You might need to you need to like put yourself out there in a visible light so that other people can see you. So I definitely feel like all of these things are obstacles that you have to creatively overcome, is what I'm sensing, okay? And then for others of you, I feel like, the house environment, for some reason, I don't know if you are changing house, but it's becoming a little bit of a hassle and a burden for you. And what I mean by that is, in the past, ownership, property ownership and things like that might be things that you value. But now you feel that, having a mortgage and having a stable place might not be what I want to do because it's limiting my mobility. So, and then for others of you who want to have a stable place to stay, you feel like it's also intruding upon, your ability to be mobile, your ability to like come and go as you please. So I feel like everything here in this reading, I feel like it's a blessing and a curse, On the one hand, having a house, it provides you with a lot of stability. You're paying for your house, you're not renting. So you are making a good investment. But on the other hand, it's restricting you from your freedom of movement. So everything is coming through here to force you to re-examine some things in your own life and whether or not you're going to be able to find a way to creatively juggle these things, find solutions to them so that they don't hinder you in the long run, okay? Let me see if there is anything else. What I'm feeling is you might still, I'm getting the feeling you might still be waiting on communication from a person from your past. I feel like you're longing for something, and I feel like you've been waiting for quite some time. Um, I feel like you're waiting on some type of news, okay? So let me just go through the rest of the spread and let me see what else is coming up. Okay, so let's just go straight in here. So Aquarius, the first card that I have out here is the Judgment card as well as the Nine of Wands, okay? The Judgment card is basically a situation where you are kind of like, you have to, like in the past, a lot of you might have to make some type of big decisions about, where do I want my life to be headed, okay? And I feel like you consulted many, many people. The Judgment card, this is a more like a community, a family card, where it's not just a unilateral decision, things have to be discussed, have to be ironed out, have to be like discussed through a forum with a lot of input. So I feel like you were asking a lot of people for input, or a major decision was decided upon with many, many, many people, like giving you ideas. So you thought it was done and over with, okay? Let's just say that. You thought it was done and over with. You thought that everything was just going to work out. And then I feel like some snags came into the picture. Some unintended situations came into the picture. And you're just like, oh no, I thought it was done and over with. I was resting on my laurels. And now you realize that you might have to push tracking that needs to do. There's some last, very, very last minute, kind of annoying, kind of frustrating, some last minute tidying up or tying up loose ends, or some last minute struggle, like snags in the road that you have to push through. And you try to wrap up all the loose ends because I feel like something last minute coming through, okay? And then what we have here is the Nine of Swords as well as the Tower. The Nine of Swords indicates a situation where I feel like if we're continuing with the same theme, some last minute thing came into the picture. You're expending a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of resources in order to clear it up. And you might be like overworking yourself trying to clear it up there might be a little bit of a time crunch, okay? So you might have not have adequate time, or you might have planned for everything else except this one last snag in the picture. And what I'm also sensing is with the Nine of Swords, this is a card about worries, mental anguish, anxiety, loss of sleep, getting nightmares, and being in a situation that makes you feel quite uncomfortable. And I feel like this is like excessive worrying, where there's like a little problem, right? And you blow it out of proportion because you keep dwelling on it. You keep thinking about it. And I feel like for some of you, it could be, like communication that came through that really changed the course of action. So some communication coming through, and it presented some ideas that you just didn't expect. Okay, it was very last minute, like monkey wrench in the works. And it could be good or bad, but I definitely feel like something was decided upon, and then now you're like thinking over it and wondering if you made the right choice and wondering if you did the right thing. So I definitely feel something like that coming through. It's also linked up here with the Tower card, and the Tower card indicates major drastic transformation that needed to happen, okay? It was built on a faulty foundation and now everything is crumbling down. A lot of you are physically just moving your residence, your place of residence. A lot of you might be in a new environment where there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of like, and it's funny because Capricorn got this too. So if you're on the cusp between Capricorn and Aquarius, you might want to watch both, because I feel like for Capricorn, it was the beginning of the month, and for Aquarius, it's coming through. So a lot of you might be simply moving house, trying to find a house, trying to secure a house, and I feel like the new house might not be the most comfortable place that you find yourself in. It might have a lot of noise. There might be something structurally wrong with it, where you just don't feel comfortable. So if this is the new house you're in, I feel like that might be the problem. Okay, I'm actually going to pull out another card, because usually with the Tower and also Ten of Swords, I usually like to pull out another card. Okay, so we have here the Three of Swords in the reverse. This is a separation. This is a separation that is imminent, okay? You have been separated from somebody, you're trying to heal from it, or you're trying to recover from it. And it has been something that has been plaguing you for quite some time. The other alternative, meaning for this is the Heartache card. It has been for quite some time. You're healing from this, okay? So honestly, I feel like a lot of you have made a decision about a relationship partner, for instance, and you have moved on. Like, you have moved on. And I feel like you might get communication that makes you look back, and now you don't know what to do. You know that it's not good for you, and it has caused a lot of pain and heartache in the past. And you can't really backtrack on a decision. So I feel like something came in belatedly, or something came in to change your plans. Like, I do feel some type of a 180 mental turnaround, which is, it's making you pause and reflect, but I feel like you're still going in the same course of you're still doing the same thing. You're still going in the same direction. So I feel like it did give you like a little bit of a concern. It made you think twice, but I feel like you're still proceeding forward, okay? What's coming through here, we do have the Ace of Cups as well as the Prince of Pentacles, excuse me. So this is the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, this is the Knight of Pentacles. So the Ace of Cups indicates a brand new beginning in love, spiritual enlightenment, also healing. This is a very, very good card, and I know that Aquarius loves seeing this card. It basically means, new love coming into your life in a way that is very emotionally gratifying. It is something that has been, I feel like you have been waiting for quite some time. It feels almost like you have been, just standing still, like your life was on standstill for this one situation. And this situation is coming through now. And it's coming in a way where the other person, I feel like the other person that you're dealing with, whoever is giving you this offer, they are very, very shy, okay? So a lot of you might be dealing with an earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Others of you might be dealing with a job offer. So this can be, just physically on the material front. A job that you've been waiting on, waiting, has come in. And some of you might have already accepted another job, and now you're just like, what do I do? And then, either way, it seems like a very, very good thing. And at least, I feel like you're going to be quite happy seeing this. Okay, so I feel like some of you, it might be a job offer coming through. The job, if it's a job offer, I feel like it's an entry level or a mid career type of a job. It could even be an internship. It could just even be like a learning experience, because I feel like on an emotional level, it makes you feel really good that they chose you. So I feel like this is a prestigious company or institution that's coming through. The pay might be a little bit less than what you were expecting or what you were used to, but I definitely feel this is a career boosting. This is a what do you call those? Like these are like stepping stone types of positions. That's gonna lead you to, the things that makes you feel really happy down the line professionally. And then for others of you, this is an offer coming through that is very solid and very sound, coming through from an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or the energy of the person is, they're very, very slow. They're like a turtle. They take forever. But once they decide on a course of action, I do feel that they are committed, okay? I feel like, sorry, what I'm sensing here is that I'm feeling that this is something, I feel like, first of all, it's a job for a lot of you. And then the other thing that I'm sensing, and I'm going to do the love reading later, okay? The other thing that I'm sensing is that it feels almost like, this is what it feels like to me. it's like you were waiting on something for a really long time. You made a choice to move on. Something happens to that situation where they want you back, okay? And now you're skeptical. And you're just like, do they want me back because, you know, they like me because of my skills? Or do they want me back because, you know, the other option was like knocked out of the table? So I feel like you're a little bit skeptical. That's what I feel. But you're still very happy that the offer is there. But you're kind of skeptical about, you know, why didn't they want me before? Why did it take so long? So all of these questions are like circling in your head, okay? Now, what's coming in terms of your finances, I feel? We have the Six of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. Both of these are really, really good cards. So there is something karmically very positive that is starting for you guys, Aquarius. So usually when I look at the spread, the Six of Pentacles is a karmic card, okay? But so the Five of Pentacles is more like repaying karmic debt. That's how I normally perceive that card, because it's a couple that is bound together in a situation. So it's like some type of a repayment in terms of like emotional debt or financial debt, okay? And I feel like it can also span past lives as well. In this particular instance, this is basically all the karmic debt that you have paid off in the past. They're coming back and they're helping you. They're giving you either a career boost, an income boost, or a public image boost, okay? So both of these things are very, very good, and I feel like whatever you have done in the past, especially Aquarius, if you have done like a lot of community service, I definitely feel like the energy that you're bringing in for this month, it's really going to help boost your career, your public image, and also bring in some important players, mentors, helpers that are going to be pushing you along in the direction that you're meant to be in, okay? So what I'm feeling here with the Six of Pentacles is this is a card about having a lot of money, and it deals with generosity, okay? So I feel like, you know, Aquarius, I feel like a lot of you don't really care about money. You care about, you know, working at a job where your skills are properly applied, and you want to be in a job where other people, you know, where you can make a difference. So whatever that means to you. Income it's important as long as you can find a way to support yourself. But I feel like you're not the type to really go out there and seek those jobs that bring a lot of money. You know, like you don't really care for that. I feel like majority of you, you care about the actual work that you're doing versus the amount of money that you're paid, okay? So for example, I feel like if you were stuck in a job that you absolutely hate, even though it pays a lot, you wouldn't even care. You would leave, okay? So what I'm sensing here with the Six of Pentacles is this is a situation where there's a lot of money coming through for you, either from financial institutions, usually that's the case, or money that is being returned back to you, okay? So I definitely feel for some of you, this is like past karma, things that we have done right, things that we have repaid. They're basically there's some clearing up of karma that is allowing new opportunities to come through for you. And I feel like the karma came in a way that was very, very slow. And like the whole time you were waiting, like, when is this going to be over? And then all of a sudden, I feel like this month is when, you know, you're getting that green light energy. You're getting a lot of helpers. You're getting people to push you in the right direction. And you're getting a lot of, like, you know, go ahead from other people. What's linked up with that here is the Six of Wands, which indicates a victory, okay? So this is a minor arcana, but it's still a very, very good card. It's something where, it's a situation where somebody is recognizing your hard work. They're recognizing your dedication, and they're basically, you're being congratulated. There might be even like some party that is thrown for you. There might be people that are coming through to see you on the professional front, and they want you to commend you for something that you've done. So there's a lot of, you know, past karma coming back in a very positive way to help you along with your professional life, okay? What I'm also feeling is whatever you've been waiting on, I feel like it was a very, very long process. And there were a lot of detours associated with it, and you got really frustrated. And I feel like once you stop pushing in that direction and once you ease up, then all of these things start to work for you in your favor. And I feel like it's a very, very slow process, okay? But it's coming in for this month. Um, I'm getting like mid-month, 16th of the month, if you have been applying for work, I feel something coming through that's going to be really good for you. And I feel like if it might not feel like, the ideal job, but I feel like it's a stepping stone job that's going to provide you with a lot of financial security down the line. And it's going to provide a lot of good reception for you, for your professional and for your public image, okay? So don't knock it. Whatever comes through, especially on the 16th, try to sit with it and, really don't dismiss it. Really look at this situation and see if that's something that you can incorporate into your life. But I feel like, coupled with Ace of Cups, this is something that you want to do anyway. So I do feel like for whatever reason, really sit with it and meditate and really think about that option, okay? Because I feel like it's going to be really positive for you guys professionally. Now, in terms of the advice, what we have here is the Strength card. And the Strength card is basically about resilience, okay? Having emotional and physical strength as well. What I get with this card usually is that it's telling you to be a little bit more patient. So I feel like whatever's coming through, you need to sit with it. Don't jump the gun. Don't act too fast. And I feel like, let me see if there is any type of date. I feel like you might have a lot of luck coming through. You might have a lot of offers that are coming through as well. So don't jump the gun and accept the first thing that comes through. You want to make sure that it is something that you want. It has long-term longevity, which means that, it's not just a job. It has room for growth, that it becomes a career and that you're passionate about it, okay? Because I feel like it's basically telling you to be patient, to keep at it, keep pushing, and keep fighting for another day, okay? Because this is basically, if you keep doing this, I feel like you're going to have that victory, okay? We do have offers coming through in terms of love and relationships as well. So there's going to be some type of long-awaited answer or long-awaited communication that is coming through. I'm going to do your love relationship in a little bit so we can narrow down this situation, but I definitely feel there's something that you've been waiting on. It is coming through for you, and it's telling you to be really, really patient with this. Really think it over, because I feel like the offer is solid, because we have here the Knight of Cups as well as the Knight of Pentacles. And one decision is going to negate the other, okay? So this is not a choice to be made lightly. It is going to require a lot of you sitting down and thinking. And the other thing I want to say is, don't feel obligated to anybody when you are making decisions from the heart. You want it to be authentic. So for example, if you're not in love with someone, but you feel like they've been a really good person, and you feel like, okay, well, they've never done anything bad to me, so I really want to, reciprocate their feelings. Love doesn't work like that, okay? So I feel like don't feel obligated, don't feel guilty about don't feel like anyone can like guilt trip you into something that you don't want, okay? So this is a month for you to really reassess and really think logically through these decisions, because I feel like that's going to be important for you down the line, okay? It's not so much an emotional month, but I feel like it requires some major putting on your thinking cap and really finding creative solutions, okay? So Aquarius, I'm going to do your love reading now. I apologize if I seem all over the place. It's just really late right now when I'm recording this, okay? So I apologize. So let's go into your love reading. So Aquarius, love and relationships for so too many cards came out, so I have to So let's go into your reading, Aquarius. I am going to, this is like, I'm going to use a different method, which is more like storytelling, okay? All right, so let's talk about the past first, because that's going to help you identify whether or not the rest of the reading is going to resonate with you, okay? So let's establish the past. Now, in the past position, we have the Ace of Wands and the Queen of Wands. The Ace of Wands is a situation that is very, very physically gratifying. It was a situation where you were very, very passionate about something, okay? And it's linked up here with a fire sign. So a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo. And I feel like what happened here is you have a situation where you or the other person nurture one another. And I feel like it might be one-sided. Okay, so I feel like the other person, they generally have a very, very good heart. They are very supportive. They never, shot down your dreams. They never criticize you, and they were always very, very supportive of you. And with the Ace of Wands, it indicates passion, and it indicates a situation where we feel very adventurous. We feel like we're on top of the world, that we can't fail, and we feel like we were invincible, okay? So both of these appearing together is a very, very good combination overall. Which brings us to the present situation here. So a lot of you might be dealing with this in the past, where you had another person, possibly a fire sign. Both of you might have children together, or they have their own children, you have your own children. So I feel like either way, you met somebody that was very emotionally supportive for you, okay? And at this present moment, we have the Two of Swords, which indicates a card about indecisiveness, okay? Being kind of like uncertain about which direction to go as it pertains to an air sign. So Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You have a new person coming through. This is somebody who is very, very intelligent. So Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising, I feel like they make quite a bit of money, and I do feel like they're very, very serious as well. So you're at a crossroads right now, and you feel like, I don't know what I really want to do, because like in the past, I feel like that past relationship where you were with somebody who was very, very nurturing, that might not be over with. There's still some sexual attraction. There's still some communication back and forth. And I feel like they might not be a fire sign even, but the main characteristic was that they were very supportive of all of your dreams, all of your ideas, okay? And in the present moment, you have somebody who's very, very intelligent, who you're very compatible with, and you're not really sure how you want to proceed with this. The foundation here is the situation on which everything is built. We have the Three of Coins as well as the Five of Cups. Now, the Three of Coins indicates a situation where three people are involved in a love triangle. And, in this day and age, I'm going to say, like, it could be you dating somebody, and then, you both haven't really made it official, or you both are not seeing each other exclusively. So you open up the relationship to talk to other people, to date other people. It could be by choice, or it could be at a point where, the relationship is just getting off the ground. So you're not really sure if you want to see somebody exclusively. Therefore, you're keeping your options open, or they likewise might be doing the same thing. So what I feel here is happening is that the foundation is there are three people in the picture. So I feel like you might be dealing with a fire sign. A fire sign in the past. You might be dealing with an air sign right now, and you're trying to decide what's the best option. Who do I want to build a foundation with? And I definitely feel like some of you're still dealing with some disappointment from the past in terms of relationships that were built on faulty foundations. And you're being very, very selective and very careful about which options you go with, okay? And I feel like for a lot of you, you actually might be eyeing somebody who might be in a relationship. That's what I'm sensing. It's sort of like this. There's some type of a matrimony situation going on here, and this person is looking very sad, okay? So I feel like you might be dealing with somebody who might already be in some type of entanglement. They might just be dating, but for some reason, I feel like it's affecting you emotionally, because knowing that you're them and that they're with somebody else, even if they're just casually dating somebody else. What's coming in? Well, let's do this first. The crowning energy. The crowning energy is the person that you're thinking about, or the situation that you're thinking about. We have here the Justice card as well as the Knight of Swords. Justice card indicates usually some type of a legal contract that is binding two people together. So a lot of you might be thinking about this legal contract as it pertains to you. You're trying to get out of a relationship with a fire sign to go ahead with an air sign, for example. And you're trying to like break the legal contract through consulting a lawyer, through sitting down and consulting the other person. So a lot of you might be dealing with this situation where you might be, thinking that I want to break this contract so that I can move on with my life. But also B, you might be a little bit apprehensive about, whether or not this is the right thing to do, because you know that once you walk away, you don't really look back. So this isn't a minor decision. This is something that you're going to have to sit down and really hash things out with the other person. So if it's a significant other that you're trying to break the contract with, a marriage contract, legal contract, whatever it is, I definitely feel that you want to be a little bit careful about the energy, mainly because this is a very aggressive energy, okay? And it's showing up as an air sign. It could be another person that you're dealing with, or it could just be, I'm getting very strong Libra, by the way, Libra vibe. It could just be you, where you're like jumping into this situation a little bit too fast. And with the Justice card, it's basically telling you, there needs to be balance, okay? There needs to be moderation and balance. For those of you who are coupled up, I also feel like you might be wanting to take the relationship to the next level. If you're with an air sign specifically, I feel taking the relationship to the next level, discussing, let's not see other people, let's be exclusive, okay? And I do feel like from your end, it might be a little bit harder to actually do than from their end, because I feel like they're coming in, they might be the one to tell you this. Let's take the relationship to the next level. And you're just like, but I'm talking to somebody else. And then I feel like you're generally honest here. There aren't things in here that indicates to me deception or anything like that. So I feel like you're generally honest, and you might want to, take the relationship to the next level. That means not talking to whoever else you're talking to, okay? And then for others who are in coupled relationship, I definitely feel like a very good, like possibly even addition to the family, adopting children. I'm sensing that. Linking up your finances together, moving in together, possibly even getting a house, property, and things like that. But all of these long-term planning things are being discussed in a way that is really fair, okay? It's really like honest, open, and fair. What's coming through for you is the Seven of Cups as well as the Hangman. Now, the Seven of Cups indicates a situation where there is a lot of temptation, a lot of fantasies, and a lot of like plans that are discussed, but they are only discussed. They haven't been implemented. They haven't been acted out just yet. So this card comes in as a reminder to tell you not to jump the gun and not to overly romanticize a situation, okay? It's good to be, in that honeymoon stage when you started dating somebody new and you're trying to take the relationship to the next level. But this is a card about, keeping your foot firmly planted and hashing out a rational and a logical plan with another person rather than just taking everything they say at face value, okay? So be a little bit more grounded, talk things out, plan some things in a concrete way, because I feel like that might be missing in this spread here when it comes to your love life. It's linked up here with the Hangman. And the Hangman is, once again, this is a card about waiting in suspension for another person. So if you put all your eggs in one basket, I definitely feel like you want to take that process very, very slowly. You have a lot of options on your plate. You have a lot of suitors that are trying to come through. And I definitely feel like you might be leaving them on the wayside as a result of, feeling very enamored by whoever is coming through for you. If you're dealing with an air sign, I feel like feelings are being reciprocated. There's a great sense of reciprocity here with the Justice card, okay? If you're dealing with other signs in general, especially like a water sign, I definitely feel like there's still a lot of indecisiveness, a lot of back and forth, and like they're taking their time. There's going to be a lot of waiting, okay? I also feel if you're dealing with a water sign, there might be a third party involved from their end. There might be like financially, they are extracted to another, they are linked to another person in a financial way, which is disallowing them from moving forward with you. Okay. And let me see, fire sign. It looks good for a new fire sign. It looks good for coupled people who are like already in a coupled relationship. I see a lot of growth, a lot of expansion coming through for you that will allow you to take things to the next level and, have a fruitful relationship with another person that you're currently coupled with, okay? So overall, I feel like a lot of decisions, I'm seeing a lot of like contracts being signed for good or for bad, but I feel like you're going to come out on top for this month, okay? You're approaching this, I feel like, in a high-minded manner, and so is the other person. Either way, I feel there's a lot of fairness going on in this spread. It might take a little bit longer than you thought. The terms of the agreement, whatever it is that you're doing, I definitely feel like details need to be discussed in a very on a minute level. That means getting down to the gritty details, okay? And I feel like it's going to be a long process, but it's still going to be very good for you. So I'm going to pull out 3 more cards just to see your advice, okay? Okay, well, we've got exactly 3 cards. So this one came first. Okay, so we have here the 8 of Cups. And the 8 of Cups is sailing away from a situation that we have invested a lot of time, a lot of resources, and a lot of emotions in. Mainly because it wasn't really conducive for our growth. And I feel like for a lot of the time, this can be like emotionally detaching yourself from a situation because you know it's not going to work for you. What you are heading towards here is the 10 of Cups. And the 10 of Cups is basically, this is like the apex of the human emotions, okay? This is a card about happy home, happy family, and having a lot of emotional bliss and blessings in your life, okay? So a lot of you are definitely transitioning from a fire sign to a new air sign. So Sagittarius, Aries, Leo to an Aquarius, Gemini, or a Libra. And a lot of you, I feel like, let me see here. There's still that sense of waiting, but you're jumping from an 8 of Cups to a 10 of Cups. So I feel like it's overnight success is what it's telling me. It's a situation where you feel really good. You feel like it's not such a heavy emotional burden. The other person is reciprocating your feelings. The new person that you're with, they're not confusing, like they're very like directed. They're very clear with their communication. They're very, very like, like when you text them, they don't take like 5-6 hours to respond to you. They respond right away. So they're very considerate. So I definitely feel like you and another person are on the same page. And it's kind of like, at last, we found each other. So for a lot of you, this can be, like having a new person in your life that makes you feel very certain about where you stand with them. And as a result, I feel like the other blessings in your life are coming together, okay? So let me go back to the past very, very quickly, because what I feel happened in the past was that there's a relationship that was very sexually charged. It had a lot of momentum. It had a lot of like physical attraction. It was very fun, very, very exciting. And but for some reason, with this card coming out, I feel like someone was constantly nurturing, one person was constantly nurturing the other person. It can be a little bit patronizing when someone feels like, they need to take care of you, or when you feel like you need to take care of them. And it's it's a good relationship. I feel it's supportive, or the other person is supportive, but I feel like you both weren't on equal footing for some reason. One person felt like they needed to take care of another person, so there might be an age gap, there might just be a gap in life experience, where I feel like, yeah, it's just, I don't want to say codependent. I don't think it was codependent. This is still a very, very good card, but I just feel like, yeah, it wasn't balanced, okay? And right now, the relationship that you have is very balanced because two people are very similar. They're similar in the things that they want out of life, and they're very similar as well to, in mannerisms, style, and the way they communicate. So you've met somebody that makes you feel like a little kid again. They plan a lot of fun things, and I feel like you're in a really good space for this month, Aquarius. The last thing that I'm feeling here is, if you are dealing with water sign, there might be some type of a comeback, okay? So that's coming through. It's going to take some time, but I feel something is coming through here where you are going to be able to like get that, long waited private reading. Please visit my website. The information is in the description box below. And I'll be back for the mid-month reading. I'll talk to you